Children, come. You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for Leah. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together to think of what sort of gift we might give you in return.
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But you mustn't decline this gift. I simply won't allow it. When you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do, especially since I imagine you still have a very... Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see my subspace creation abilities atrophy. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received from Rex Lapis, part of our illumination, if you will. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace creation is the ability to create a small, autonomous pocket world. The teapot that you entered previously was a little trinket created using that ability.
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. That is what one might call an exercise of true power. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have prepared for you just requires a few final materials to add the finish.
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at!
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running hither and thither. I have already found a fleet-footed youngster to prepare what I need. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials I am searching for. Some of them are very rare indeed these days. Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. Back in the day, it could only be found where the glazed lilies thrived most profusely. You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the... But almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil in this map. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. Ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child will succeed in finding...
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Granny, the person you asked for help, they must be an Adeptus too, right?
Yes. I suppose she does count as an Adeptus.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time.
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old friends are rather fond of mundane mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny. Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This child here is Yanfei. She's the one. Yanfei, I believe you already heard of the traveler and his traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millilith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui. Before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chiseng. What a shame. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yanfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me. Oh, yes. Here's my business card. You'll find it has my contact details and office address. If you have an urgent issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
All right, Yanfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in any dire need of legal assistance at the moment. You'll have to excuse Yanfei. She's always been like this, ever the talkative one when it comes to her own affairs.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question. You seem really different from the ones we've met before.
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all...
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that stuff? What do you mean he just...
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway... let's not dwell on that too much. So...
Is that so? Yanfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped Liyue greatly, after all. It is only right that they are duly rewarded.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go. But there's still a chance we can figure out some alternative Hold on a moment. Let me have a look.
Whoa, that's a really thick...
Commercial consultancy. Or... Snezhnaya. Ah, found him. Krusell. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins, so I guess I'll go look for him. With any... Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow. An Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful.
Mr. Krusell?
Oh, good. Very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei.
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, in the end I did acquire a small piece of smaragdus jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize, I've already rented them out to a lady named Zhi. If you'd like—
Wait, isn't smaragdus jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost while they're being rented?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed it. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the smaragdus jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me.
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need.
In that case, might you know where Miss Chow lives? We'd like to—
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Cross. Step on us!
Hello, nice. Everything's...
Whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me.
How do you do, Monsieur? My associates and I are very interested.
The hairpins. I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original my family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off. We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be— That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. I can't have— But now that I've lost the hairpins—
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really?
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Mr. Chow, would you let me have a look at the red—
Huh? Well—
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? Maybe she can help Zhi somehow. True. Though surely there must be a win-win solution.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original value of the hairpins as compensation for— Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market prices into account. And given the rarity of smaragdus jadeite, I fear that the final amount of compensation—
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Zhi.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins.
Did you really have to pause before saying that? Whichever way you look at it.
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine.
Please. Please, however much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. It's vital that we keep our word and respect. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't keep...
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were perfectly smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my...
Smooth to the touch. Finest quality jade. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things. Let's head over...
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. You lost them? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how expensive they were?
I'm sorry. Truly I am.
Mora! Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get my hands on that Smaragdus jadeite? I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back.
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. Ah, yes. And if I may just confirm again, it was in fact genuine Smaragdus jadeite inlaid into the hairpins, correct?
Of course. Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow.
Thank you very much.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have something to discuss with... It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find some...
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the ore inlaid on those hairpins may not be Smaragdus jadeite after all.
What do you mean? Are you implying that you already sneaked off and found them?
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't run thankless, time-consuming errands for a living. Let's just say I made some I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground and contains very concentrated elemental. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. It most certainly would not be smooth to the touch. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell while the hairpins were in your possession?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest...
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier that there were elemental traces in Mr. Crossel's vicinity. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him right now and expose his dirty scam right to his face!
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. Eventually, he would find some argument to compel us to leave. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. He would lose nothing. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yunfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, could I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even keep track. It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a certain someone else.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this...
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now, right, and I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the...
This contract has so many pages.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geo-energy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, and whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter. But either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... Ah, I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome. Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever...
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named... I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your...
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings. Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it there may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price. And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But, never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr.
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Miss Yanfei? Might I be so bold as to
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store...
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It's...
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and the...
Of course. But...
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store.
Yes, I see.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Aha! Got it! Sinxie. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Sinxie.
I just love to make people smile.
Yanfei, it's you.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with the jewelsmith?
Krosel. Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found.
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Krosel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
My, to what do I owe the... And if it isn't Miss Yanfei as well? Now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals. It is abundant in elemental energy. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yanfei, and given the specific nature of your question... I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business might be related to this Snezhna...
Ah, you needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document.
You're too kind.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever.
I can't read what this says.
Is it just...
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount...
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract... Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original...
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her?
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid...
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake?
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, this is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite, he returned the valuable jadeite core to me, and some nephrite samples remain in the store.
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to...
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
Hard evidence. Something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler. Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the document from the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
This document proves...
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either.
You know, you...
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of Traveler. Would you do the honors? This shall serve...
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have... I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, you were ignorant... Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed... I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their...
What? Wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No,
aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus Jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
I...
Yamp, he's seriously intimidating right now.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus Jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine... But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But that's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus Jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite in a specially made box. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Chichao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in...
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this...
10 times.
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus...
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to... Even if the Smaragdus Jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for...
Ms...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus Jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider...
What? But
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus Jadeite over to you. I trust that...
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony.
Well
then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further...
Is that so?
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second if I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ore...
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends.
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over. Even though the solution didn't...
The right solution depends on your perspective. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay an Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Freeze!
Wind blade!
Ah, you've returned. How did it? Good, good. Then we have all the materials.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients.
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your...
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you... I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts, too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot, hmm?
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood beside Rex Lapis. Ah, indeed she is. Liyue has changed. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Ah, Liyue is not the same place I once knew. All right, then. Let us speak of this no more. Back on topic. I believe that I still owe you a little gift.
Oh, Paimon's so excited!
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take... There we go. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh, goodness. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively.
Wait a minute, Granny. How exactly are we supposed to use this tea?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for...
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside, huh? But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do still. Oh, wait a second. What is that?
Wow! It seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment. What am I? Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me
So you're the little helper.
Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean you may leave all matters regarding the upkeep of this realm to me. Your journey may be far from over, but though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of day to attend to the banal matter of their maintenance. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to help guard. You may consider me a butler. Now, allow me to explain this realm to you. Have you any blueprints on you? Specifically, blueprints with beautiful rooms, As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however.
Blueprints? Oh, that's right! Granny handed us some when she...
Yes, these are the Just commit the image of the... Then simply release the thought from your mind and the...
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole...
I doubt it. A golden-eyed Adeptus explained this to me at some point in... He said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, even that has its limits. This world is not a true one, after all. It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal realm, not a means of escaping it entirely.
A golden-eyed Adeptus? Paimon, what?
I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never seen that Adeptus again since. Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. Best you get accustomed to the... If there's anything you would like to...
Traveler, anything interesting you want to talk? Nighty-night and sweet. And don't worry, Paimon will...
Since my physical form is here in this realm, I suppose...
Oh, hey there! It's so good to see you! I like it a lot. I'm not too fussy about where I stay. After all, as an outrider, I have to be able to adapt to all kinds of surroundings. If I had to, I could even sleep on a tree branch. You really think so? Anyway, don't worry. This place is great.
Maybe you're not used to... If you ever have any questions about... Maybe you're... If you ever have it...
Windblade!
Oh, I was completely lost in thought. Aw, you're concerned for my well-being. You really know how to make me feel all warm. Don't you worry. I love it here. Not at all. I think what makes this place so special is the fact that it was built personally, but if I were to start nitpicking, it would only ruin your creativity. I certainly wouldn't want that to happen. Oh, when did... I was completely... Have a good night, cutie. Oh, I'm so... Be sure to get enough sleep.
Maybe you're... If you ever have... If you ever have any questions... Maybe you're not... If you ever have it... Maybe you're... If you ever have...
Over here! Step on up!
I have gathered everyone here today to make an important announcement. Perhaps some of you will have heard the news already. I am, in fact, planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber.
Rebuild the Jade Chamber? That's a huge
So the rumors are true. No wonder the price of building materials has gone up so much lately.
The Jade Chamber means a lot to Lady Ningguang. Getting involved in this would be...
Lady Ningguang, is there any way we can be of service?
Patience. Since the news made it out a few days ago, I have already had many people come. Nevertheless, I do have a few matters I should like to... The building site has been chosen, and most of the materials have been assembled. They are as follows: Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Cores, and Adepti Sigils.
Excuse my ignorance, Lady Nick.
Only sufficiently large pieces of plastrite, or specifically, Vermilionite, may earn themselves the Sunset moniker. Adepti Sigils serve as a means of integrating the mechanical devices with Adepti art. Although these 3 items are rare, I trust that with your connections and capability, I take the saying, time is money, more seriously than most. You may ask me anything.
These things won't be easy to get hold of. But if it means a chance to get some inside information on Liyue Harbor's...
Then it's the deal of a lifetime. Information from Lady Ningguang is priceless.
Haha, what a coincidence! I won't divulge too much, but I heard some murmurings about some plastrite just the other day. So excuse me all, but...
No. We better move quickly.
Ningguang's rebuilding the Jade Chamber?
So you heard my announcement, did you? What do you think? Interested? Yes. Providing the question pertaining...
Really? Ooh, then we'll never be short of more...
Of course. But how much information I share with you will depend on your performance. The construction of the Jade Chamber requires a great deal of space. The abandoned mine outside the Golden House has been selected as the building site. Once you have collected the materials, I have other business to attend to now. Otherwise, I would gladly escort you to the site in person. Remember, this is a race against the clock.
Ningguang seems super busy. Come on, we'd better get going. First, we gotta get out of Eugene Terrace. Huh? Look! It seems like there's something...
Ma'am, you seem like an eminent and as it happens, we have some
No, I don't need it.
Don't be like that. Why don't you stand there? Oh, right, yeah.
Did you hear that? They said they had some useful information! Information's just what we need right now. Let's follow them and see what we can find out.
Over here!
Huh. They're not here. Let's keep looking.
Well, will you? Don't worry. We're not bad guys. You give up. Boss, I got a bad feeling about this. So what? She's loaded.
I've already told you. I don't need you. If you still can't grasp that, I'm happy.
Come on, ma'am. It's not about whether you need the info.
I won't.
No more excuses! Yeah, I saw you. Strolling into Leo Lee Pavilion, ordering a table full of food, and only taking a few bites. Then Shinyue Kiosk, then Wanmin Restaurant. Same story each time. You order all the signature dishes. How could you afford to be so wasteful if you weren't from a rich family?
Master warned me not to lay a hand on anyone in Liyue Harbor. But here we are. Perhaps...
Boss, I'm telling you What are you afraid of? We're just selling information. It's not illegal. If she lays a finger on us, all the better. We'll sue her for everything she's worth.
Oh, you again.
Millilith? What are the Millilith doing here? Did you do this? You ought to mind your own...
Silence! How dare you threaten innocent civilians? You're coming with us.
No, don't...
Shenhe.
Shenhe?
My name.
Oh, so your name's Shenhe. Paimon's name is... well, Paimon. And this is Paimon's travel buddy.
Oh, I've heard about you two before. Thank you for... I could have dealt with it myself, though. I suspect smashing his head against the ground a handful of times is all it would have taken to get him to surrender.
You can't do that. This is Liyue Harbor.
Laws. No.
Really? So,
That would be my stomach growling. I haven't
She's so on. Wait, that's right. They said you went around all the restaurants. Then of course you're still.
Chingson, glaze lily, violet grass. These are my usuals.
Kinda hard to explain. Anyway, Boo Boo Pharmacy's not far away. After all, you. Do you think Shenhe might be an Adeptus? It seems like it's her first time in Liyue Harbor, and she doesn't seem to.
Are you here to buy some herbs? I do.
Chingson, glaze lily, and violet grass, please. Half a pound of each.
What kind of prescription is this? Sounds more like a lunch order. Oh, here you go. That's everything we have in stock.
Thank you.
She's.
My hunger has now abated. Though they were not completely devoid of.
So, if Paimon had enough Mora.
Because I'm not sure whether I will remain here in the future. The food of the mortal realm is most delicious, but should I return to the mountains, yearning for the food here shall only pose an obstacle to my continued. Sampling each dish in order to appreciate its taste is enough.
Return to the mountain.
Enough about me.
Oh, right! Paimon almost forgot! We came up and...
I see. I heard something about the contest when I was passing by.
Yep! Were you interested in the...
I came for the rebuilding of the Jade Chamber, but until this point I had no intention of joining a contest. However, you have shown me your kindness, and I would now like to...
Wow! But having an Adeptus help out will make things a whole lot easier, so...
Then let's not delay.
Great! Paimon bets...
I am not sure whether, or to what extent, this plan can be classified as awesome. I do, however, believe it will be high. We simply need to dispose of everyone who is currently ahead of us. Then, we alone shall become the victors.
Veto! That is not acceptable! Not by a long shot!
Really? But I hear that competition is in essence about conflict and one-upmanship.
Look, we want to win this competition fair and square, okay? Sunset Vermilionite, Wonder Course, and Adepti Sigil.
I was wondering who I could hear arguing over there.
Baiju? What are you doing?
Lady Ningguang wishes to purchase a large batch of wound dressing. We're running low at the store, so I came out to fetch the ingredients personally.
Huh? How come Lady Ningguang needs so much wound dressing all of a sudden?
I'm not too sure. I did hear she's looking to rebuild the Jade Chamber, maybe for its first aid on Oh, and she also borrowed Chi-Chi, meaning Boo Boo Pharmacy is very short-handed right now. I don't suppose any of you are looking for part-time work, but...
No, we've got other stuff to do. While you're here, though...
Ah, the variety of plostrite used in the Jade Chamber, yes? There is some mention of it in the 7 Mountain Treatises. When activated, sunset vermilionite rises up all the way into the clouds. It's very rare indeed. As far as the records show, virtually all sunset vermilionite in existence has been mined and taken possession.
Okay then, let's go. Thanks, Baiju.
You're quite welcome. Good luck to you all. And if there's anything further you need from...
Traveler, please, over here. It has been a while since you joined the Adventurers Guild. Are your adventures going smoothly? Is that so? Apart from your own skills, reliable teammates are also indispensable. Another person to count on is always good after all. But
Yep, and it's even harder to get a guide as good as Paimon.
Ah, yes. I do have some information that may be... Let me consult our records. Ah, there it is.
The blonde dress. Wait, do you mean... Does that stranger's face look anything...
Like the honorary knights? No, they couldn't look more different. This stranger is a very tall man, and even has an eye patch.
Seriously?
That stranger declined the guild's invitation, so I can't say that I... Nonetheless, you can look... After all, it is not uncommon for some adventurers to not want to be limited by the guild, but be happy... And should the stranger be a strong adventurer indeed, he would certainly be a big help on your journey. Please don't talk down. Your deeds are the stuff of song for all the bards in the city. Well, as to... He stands guard at the city gate. I wish you every success.
Honorary knight. Is something the matter? A stranger with an iPad. He was wandering all over Mondstadt at first, which I found rather I lost him pretty quickly. Still, as long as Master Jean is here, there's nothing to fear from—
That might be true, but if it were up to Jean, she'd take this way—
That is true. But on the other hand, knowing that— Anyways. Oh yeah, he was at Wagner's smithy for a while before I tried tailing him. He might have said something to Wagner. You should go ask him.
What? You need something? Here, I remember him. He showed up a few days ago asking to buy a— Can't say I've heard of any of the materials he mentioned, though. He then had a look at the weapons in my shop before leaving. I've heard that he can be found drinking at the Angel's Share. If the Knights of the Guild want to get hold of him, that's the only place to be.
The Angels share? Well, Master D-Luke probably has his eye on that stranger Anyway, let's go to the Angels share.
What will it be? Grape juice or apple cider?
Hey, Charles! Have you seen...
That I have. He comes here every night. He even sometimes mixes his own drinks after he orders them. I don't know anything else about him, but from his selections and mixes.
And what's Master D-Luke's opinion?
Why, I just gave it to you.
Investigating everything is...
If you're looking for that gentleman, he ordered some new bottle of wine in advance yet. There's too many raucous patrons on the first floor, so if you want... Ah, welcome, sir.
He's really here?
Another dandelion.
Wow, he's got no intention of paying us any mind, huh?
A traveler, you say? Why are you traveling? Well, that's as good a reason as any.
So...
That little one beside you. It's indeed a good thing to have someone accompany you on your travels. My name's Dainsleif. I suppose you have some business with me? Sure.
He was so cool.
But I will require advance payment. 500 mora. The 500 is a one-time fee, and we'll settle the that's it.
Well, now Paimon's got a really bad feeling. That kind of
Ah, thank you. Now, as for my questions, I'd like you to answer them here and now. The answer to a question says nothing about... I only wish to know what your choices are. Question 1. The crisis Mondstadt faced was resolved by an alliance between yourself and that Animo Archon who calls himself Venti. Who, in your view, was the key to ending that crisis? I know everything that I Well, answer the question. Is that your answer? Question number 2. Rex Lapis, who has defended Liyue Harbor from Who do you think will defend Liyue Harbor in the future, now that they've lost their deity? So that's your answer? Now from this world has people who gained visions. Which of the two do you think hold more importance in the eyes of the gods? So, this is your answer? It seems that you're different from her. I'll take that 500 mora. And, that said, I only take commissions related to the Abyss Order. Like you, I am currently on a journey. You intend to find your sibling, while I wish to oppose the Abyss. Ugh. Those creatures that serve the I have come to Mondstadt this time while on the trail of an
Abyss Herald?
An even more twisted abyssal being. One that commands the Abyss Mages.
Oh, that's right! We've just been fighting against the Fatui Leap. We haven't encountered the non-human Abyss.
There's some reason behind that, I'm afraid. It's possible that they may have been under orders.
Oh, that does sound pretty dangerous. Uh-huh! Where's...
That manner, it's just like hers. Well then, let's go see for ourselves, shall we? Let's meet up at the temple. Perhaps your This abandoned temple does bear some mark, the Falcon of the West. Though it can soar in the wind, it ultimately does naught but hover under the light of the... Oh. The scent of the abyss is getting stronger. It's not far.
Here's what the Abyss Heralds look like. Do they look something like the Abyss Mages?
Let's head further in first. If we do see that creature, that'll spare me the explanation either way.
Windblade!
Dodge this! There is no escape! Push your luck. Cool it! Dodge this! Cool it! Oh, so sorry. Freeze! Illusion shattered! With the wind! There is no escape! Step on up!
Windblade!
Torn to oblivion!
Don't get frostbite.
Illusion shattered!
Freeze! Dodge this!
Just a few Abyss mages? Seems like that. The Abyss. It is chaos. That, and the creatures of the Abyss, desire nothing less than the...
You seem to know a lot of...
Well, we do have some history. I suppose that's as far as chit-chat goes. We should head to Wolvendom. Judging by the traces I'm following, their next appearance may be within... Perhaps we may find our Abyss Herald there.